Reading is one of the best things you can do. It opens your mind and helps you learn new things. I love reading, and I want to share my story about how reading has helped me in many ways. In this story, I will tell you about the benefits of reading and my personal experiences. One of the biggest benefits of reading is that it helps me learn new words. When I read, I see many words that I do not know. At first, I found this difficult, but I decided to learn from it. I always keep a notebook next to me when I read. If I see a new word, I write it down. For example, when I read my first English book, I found the word curious. I didn't know what it meant, so I looked it up in a dictionary. I learned that curious means wanting to know more about something. After that, I started using the word in my conversations. I would say, I am curious about how things work. Learning new words from reading has made my vocabulary better. Reading makes me smarter. When I read different kinds of books, I learn about many subjects. For example, I enjoy reading science books. I have read about animals, plants, and the stars. Each book teaches me something new. Last year, I read a book about the ocean. It told me about different sea animals, like dolphins and sharks. I learned many facts that I did not know before. Now, when my friends talk about the ocean, I can join the conversation. I feel smart and confident because I have knowledge from reading. Reading stories also helps me understand people better. When I read novels, I get to know different characters. I learn about their feelings, thoughts, and actions. This helps me understand real people in my life. For example, I read a book about a girl named Mia. She had many challenges, but she always tried her best. I learned that it is important to be strong and never give up. This story made me think about my own life. When I have challenges, I remember Mia and how she faced her problems. Reading stories helps me see life from different perspectives. Reading is also a fun activity. I enjoy sitting in my favorite chair with a good book. It is a great way to relax after a long day. I can forget my worries and get lost in a story. Last summer, I read a fantasy book about dragons and magic. The story was exciting, and I could not put the book down. I felt like I was in a different world. When I finished the book, I was happy but also sad because I did not want it to end. Reading is like going on an adventure without leaving my home. Another benefit of reading is that it helps improve my writing skills. When I read, I see how other authors write. I notice how they use words, sentences, and ideas. This helps me become a better writer. In school, we have writing assignments. I try to use what I learned from reading. For example, I wrote a story about a boy who finds a treasure map. I used ideas from books I read about adventure and treasure hunting. My teacher liked my story, and she said my writing was creative. I know that reading helped me write a better story. Reading also teaches me about different cultures and places. When I read books from different countries, I learn how people live. This helps me understand and respect other cultures. I once read a book about a girl from India. The story talked about her family traditions and festivals. I learned about Diwali, a festival of lights. I found it interesting to learn how different cultures celebrate. This makes me want to explore the world more. Reading gives me a window to see how people live in other parts of the world. In our busy world, it is hard to focus sometimes. However, reading helps me improve my concentration. When I read a book, I need to pay attention to the story and characters. This practice helps me focus better in other areas of my life. When I read, I turn off my phone and find a quiet place. This helps me concentrate. I remember when I was preparing for a test at school. I read my textbooks and notes carefully. Because I practiced focusing while reading, I was able to study better. I felt more prepared for the test, and I did well. Reading also helps build my imagination. When I read stories, I picture the characters and places in my mind. This makes my creativity grow. I start thinking about my own stories and ideas. For example, after reading about dragons, I imagined my own dragon. I wrote a story about a dragon who helps children. In my story, the dragon could fly to different places and take the children on adventures. I enjoyed creating my own world. Reading inspires me to use my imagination and create new things. Another benefit of reading is that it strengthens my memory. When I read, I remember characters, plots, and details. This practice helps me in my daily life as well. I remember reading a mystery book where I had to guess who the thief was. I paid attention to all the clues and characters. At first, I could not remember everything, but as I continued reading, I got better at remembering details. This practice helped me in school too. I can remember information for tests and quizzes better now. Sharing books with friends is one of my favorite things to do. When I find a good book, I want to tell everyone about it. My friends and I often exchange books and talk about our favorite stories. For example, I lent my friend a book about a girl who travels to space. She loved it, and we had fun discussing the story. Sharing books helps us connect and makes reading even more enjoyable. We can recommend new books to each other and discover new stories together. In my life, reading has many benefits. It helps me learn new words, makes me smarter, and improves my writing skills. Reading is also fun and helps me understand people better. It teaches me about different cultures and strengthens my memory. I encourage everyone to read more. Whether it is a book, a magazine, or an article, reading can change your life. It opens doors to new ideas, adventures, and knowledge. My journey with reading has been amazing, and I am excited to keep exploring the world through books. So grab a book and start reading today. You will see how much it can help you too.